Hello, everybody. Welcome to this convention prep episode of Beware the Board, a horror podcast where we watch a randomly selected horror movie every week. I'm Bob.
And I'm Ben.
Hey, Ben.
Hey, Bob.
What's up, my dude?
I thought you were going to take that in a very different direction.
I cannot. If I'm thinking of what you're thinking of, I can't say that.
Are you sure?
Yes, 100%. I cannot say that.
Both me and the audience can't see you at all. So
Ben,
go either way.
I can't say that. I can't.
Ugh.
You know,
All right.
just not allowed.
We're back for another convention prep episode. Today we're doing Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Yep.
Woo!
This one is one I'm excited about.
I'm glad
because
you're excited about it.
I know very little about this film except for I think it's on Netflix, and I've seen it scrolling through Netflix a couple of times.
So that's all you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just I've
that's
seen
good.
it started playing parts of the movie like Netflix does.
I hate that.
I do too. It sucks.
Especially, it's not even for spoiler reasons. It's just annoying.
Yeah, it's why am I don't care. I'm scrolling. Leave me alone. You stop for half a second. It's yes, you want to see the entire trailer for this movie.
But also it slows down your scrolling because it
Mhm.
expands. It's just, I get why it's there because when you want it, it's handy.
Mm-hmm.
But 99% of the time you don't.
Because if you're going, at least for me, if I'm going to Netflix, I know what I'm watching. I'm going for something specific. I'm going to look for something.
Now if you don't know, it's nice.
Great. But I don't do that with streaming platforms really. Only YouTube. I'll go to YouTube and just be like, what's on the homepage?
Yeah.
That's about it really.
Alright, are you ready to get into it?
Well, we mentioned something.
Oh, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, we want to talk about that because that's actually really cool. Because it's
I wasn't-
semi-relevant.
I wasn't sure if you wanted to save it for the actual board episode.
Nah, because we remembered it right now, and we'll forget by the time the actual board episode
That
comes
is how this
around.
works.
Every time. So there's a new movie coming out. I think it's called Voyage of the Demeter?
Demeter.
Is it Demeter?
I think so. Demeter.
I assumed it was Demeter the
Is that how you pronounce it?
I don't know. But I was thinking Demeter the god.
Yeah, the last voyage of, and then that word. And we're going to look up the exact pronunciation. How about that?
Sure.
Demeter.
Demeter.
Bitch.
I thought it was Demeter.
That's the American pronunciation. I don't
Oh.
know what the Greek pronunciation is, but I don't care.
Okay, anyway. But the premise of that film is that it's basically Dracula's boat. What happens on Dracula's boat?
Do you need me to explain it? Because I actually know what it is.
Well, I kind of know what it is.
But, I actually know what it is.
Yeah, I've never read Dracula.
Okay, so there's basically a very, very, very small part of Dracula. And I forget what the exact section is in the book. I think it's just, a ship log that you get to see very briefly. And I want to say it's at the end of the book.
Mm-hmm.
Or at the beginning. I can't remember. That just mentions, this is the crew. And then, this is who got off the boat.
Oh, okay.
Super, super short. And so that inspired a very brief scene in the original Dracula film that has a little bit more in depth, but it's at the beginning of the movie where they show Dracula's voyage from, Transylvania. Which, fun fact, I've been there.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
been to his castle.
I forgot about
It's
that.
fun. But from, Romania to, where is it set?
Isn't it England?
I want to say England.
It is England, I'm pretty sure.
It's been a while since I've seen Dracula.
I've never seen Dracula.
Well, a play or read the book.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yeah.
anything. But yeah, you get to see a brief clip, and it's I don't want to say, it's probably not even 5 minutes. It's probably 2 or 3 that just covers the boat, and then the end
Mm-hmm.
with the boat arriving, and it's probably one of the more interesting parts of that movie, even though it's super brief. And someone was like, "What if we made that into a movie?"
Mm-hmm.
Because what you know is basically nothing.
Yep.
But it's basically, oh, there was a bunch of people on this boat with Dracula.
Yep.
Now there's no people on this boat.
And just Dracula.
Yeah. Well, they don't know Dracula's there.
Well, yeah,
But
still. It's very cool.
yeah, it's a really, really dark bit of the story that's really glossed over. And
Mhm.
someone was like, let's make that into a film. So that's going to be called, The Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Yep.
Super cool.
The only reason the movie looks cool, trust me. I've seen some teaser stuff. It looks cool. It looks interesting. We'll probably watch it on the show at some point. If we ever do Dracula as a category, that would be cool because there are a lot of different versions of Dracula.
Yeah, and I think Dracula is one of those things where that would make a better premise than just vampires.
Yeah, I was thinking
'Cause,
vampires,
how
but
do I put
Dracula's
this?
better.
You can do vampires as a category, and then if you wanted to narrow it down, you could do Dracula.
And I would like to watch some Dracula stuff.
Because like how we do zombies, and then you could narrow that down to like infection zombies or
Mhm.
like magic zombies, stuff like that.
Yeah. The reason I mention it, and it's relevant to this show, is the man playing Dracula in that is Javier Botet, who we saw play. Oh, what is her last name? I know her first name is Nina. What is her last name? Do you remember? From Wreck.
Yeah.
He's the guy that does basically the monster of those films. And he does such a good job as like a creature actor that I'm so excited to see what he does with something iconic as Dracula.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Dracula turns out, though, because like,
From what I've seen, he's pretty monstrous.
I mean, yeah, I've seen a picture because you sent me a picture.
Mhm.
And I'm pretty sure we've seen about the same amount then. It's just like an interesting choice because like it's Dracula,
Mhm.
which is pretty iconically like
Humanoid.
not monstrous, so it's a weird decision to make, and I'm not sure if I like it
I'm curious.
or not. I'm just kind of curious, and I think it'll depend on like execution if it's good or not.
I think Javier Botet is definitely going to do a good job.
No, he's a good creature actor. I meant more specifically whether or not I like that portrayal as a
Mhm.
creature rather than a
Oh, no, I just thought of a really
maniacal suave dude.
I just thought of a really good way for them to spin it. Cuz what if like they're out on the water and none of them know that Dracula's just like flying around the ship at night, picking people off and shit, and he's just like walking around the boat by himself acting normal. You know what I mean? What if it's like a hidden thing?
I
Like a whodunit style thing, but we all know it's just Dracula?
I doubt it's a hidden thing.
Really?
Yeah, because like that doesn't necessarily work with the setup.
I guess, yeah. I don't know.
Because I know the setup, you don't.
That's fair.
Like the specifics of it.
Mhm.
And I don't think that really works with it.
Okay. I just thought I'd bring it up because A, Javier Botet's back, and I'm excited to see what he can do being Dracula, because that's fucking cool. But also, just looks like a cool horror movie that we're probably going to watch at some point.
Oh yeah, I've been following the production of it since before it like got announced.
Yeah, I remember we talked about it back when we first started the show. You were talking about, like, the premise and that it was, like, floating around that a movie like that was going to get made.
Nina Medeiros, by the way.
That was her last name. I couldn't remember her last name. We need to finish that series. There's 4 of them?
I think so.
Yeah. Those movies are real good.
All right. You just ready to start though?
Yeah, now we can go.
Okay.
Sorry, I just
Are you
wanted
sure?
to bring that up.
Okay. So we're watching Tucker and Dale versus Evil. It's a 2010 film.
I didn't know it was that, like, early. I thought it was, like, newer than that.
Nah, that's pretty old. I mean, that's what 13 years ago now.
Yeah, but I thought it was from, like, I don't know, 2015 or something? 2014?
Nah, I think that's when it went up around Netflix.
That's
I think
probably
it
why
had a
I think
boost.
that.
Probably when you were like 14 or so.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I remember watching this like I think in like 2010, like right around when it came out.
Oh, okay.
And by the way, since this might annoy you, so I'm gonna tell you. I think the technical title is Tucker and Dale versus Evil,
Mm-hmm.
and then like the promotional title is Tucker and Dale versus Evil with like the and symbol.
Oh,
So you see it both ways.
I just wrote and, like the word.
I use the and symbol because that's how it is on like all the posters.
What is that? Isn't it called like an ampersand?
I don't know.
Nah, I don't know either. You're the
It's
English
called-
major.
Yeah, but I don't need to know what it's called.
Why not?
It's an and symbol.
Okay.
Like I know where it is on the keyboard. I know its usage. I know when you're not supposed to use it.
You're not supposed to use it?
Well, I mean, it gives off a certain vibe, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought there was like a grammatically incorrect way to use it.
Well, I mean, you could be like, you can make a run-on sentence.
I guess that's true.
Like, Bob and Ben do a podcast, and they review movies, and they talk about them afterwards, and...
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand.
Anyways, description. 2 men find themselves face to face with the most sinister forces known to man.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Evil.
Evil, yeah.
Straight up. It's an hour and 29 minutes long. It's rated R.
Ooh,
Review scores. IMDb gave it a 7.5 out of 10.
it's pretty good.
And in a first time, and I don't want to say last time for this podcast, but it's pretty... I haven't seen this before. And it's just very unlikely, especially with how old this movie is. It has an 85% for both tomato and audience score.
Oh, damn. Holy shit.
Right? That's kind of cool.
That's weird. That's never happened.
I saw that and I was like, huh.
I can't believe that's never happened. That's really
But
interesting.
that's also like super interesting because, you know, this movie's 13 years old now.
Mm-hmm.
So basically all the reviews it's going to get
Have come out.
for the most part. So that's like a pretty stable equal review.
Yeah, and it's interesting that critics and audiences liked it about the same amount.
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting and weird statistic.
I like it too.
Well, yeah, but I knew you liked it coming in because you were excited when we announced it last episode.
I'm so excited.
I know.
I watch this film not all the time because I don't like to overwatch films,
Mm-hmm.
but I do watch it about like every Halloween or so.
Yeah,
'cause it's
I
fun.
do that with a couple of movies, but
I
never
don't know.
any
You
horror
watch
movies.
Halloween 2 a lot.
Well, that's true. Well, that's more of like I like to put stuff on in the background when I'm doing other stuff, and I have like I need to buy more Blu-rays to be honest. I don't have that many yet.
Yeah.
I'm kind of running
I'm
running
beating
low.
you out now.
Huh?
I'm gonna beat you out soon.
Oh, fuck you. So like, I like to just put on stuff while I'm cleaning, and normally it's like Halloween 2 or Halloween. You know, those are my go-tos right
Fair
now.
enough. All right. Awards. It has 12 wins and 14 nominations.
God damn.
Notable actors. We can go into this. Tyler Labine as Dale. You might know him as the Greek Council VP in Monsters University.
I've never seen Monsters University.
Well, I tried. I was like, let me get something Bob might have actually seen for once. A Pixar movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen
I
that
came
one.
close because I know you've seen Monsters, Inc.
I love Monsters Inc.
Why haven't you seen the sequel?
Never had any interest.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard it's good. I just like I love Monsters Inc., but I saw it when I was in the age range to watch that movie.
Right.
And when Monsters University came out, I was too old, and I just didn't get around to it.
But yeah, you were like 12 or 13, but also like it's a Pixar movie. They're made
Yeah.
enough so that you can kind of watch them when you're
But also,
older.
like, I was past my watching movie stage of my life.
Fair enough.
I just didn't. I just from like
Bob's life was very depressing from what I
from the
hear.
age of like 10 up, I just didn't watch movies. I just didn't do it.
That's kind of weird though, because you had a younger sibling.
I had 2 younger siblings, and they watched whatever they wanted. and I
They were
didn't watch it.
definitely in that age range.
Oh, for
So
sure.
I'm just surprised you didn't see it like through them.
Nope.
Okay, well I tried. The other thing he's in, and this is always the thing that like I know him from besides this movie, is he's Kevin from Deadbeat.
I don't know what that is.
He was on 34 episodes from 2014 through 2016. He's the main character of this show where the joke is he's like a deadbeat, right?
Okay.
But he's a psychic who can see dead people,
Oh. Okay.
but he's just kind of like, I don't want to say he's a fuck up, but he's like not really a successful psychic. Like
Okay.
he can see the dead, but because he like actually takes it seriously, not seriously, but because he's like actually honest about how the dead are and what they want, and he doesn't play up like the theatrics,
Mm-hmm.
he's not like super popular,
I see. Okay.
so he doesn't have a lot of money, and he's also like a big stoner.
The name is really familiar. Like, I've heard that name quite a few times.
It's a Hulu original. That's probably how you know it.
Mm.
But it's one of those shows where like the first season it's pretty good, second season it's all right, and then the
Mm.
last season
Not great.
not great.
Damn. That sucks.
But he's the main character of that, so that's always pretty interesting.
Maybe
if you
I'll
like
watch
him.
it.
Yeah, because it's a TV show.
Yeah.
Alan Tudyk as Tucker. I didn't know this. He plays a bunch of different people on Harley Quinn,
Oh, I haven't seen that, but I've heard it's very funny.
including, among others, like a lot, Clayface,
Okay.
the Joker.
Oh, he's the Joker voice in
Yeah.
that. Whoa, that's cool.
That's-
Okay.
I didn't know that, so that's the one I'm giving you for him. But he's been on like 34 episodes between
That's cool.
2019 and 2023.
Good for him. I've heard that show's quite good.
Katrina Bowden as Allison. I don't know how you pronounce that. Sari? Carrie?
How do you spell
It's
it?
Cerie.
Sari?
Sari? Yeah, I
Sure.
guess. I don't know. But she was on 30 Rock for 99 episodes between
I never watched 30 Rock.
2006 and 2013.
I heard it was good.
I
But-
watched it as a child.
That's the other thing. I was kind of out of 30 Rock's age range.
No, Bob, that is not a show for children.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
But
And
I
it-
watched it as a kid, and it was fun then. Like, the first couple seasons are better than the later ones. You know, classic kind of
Mm-hmm.
long-running sitcom stuff. And I haven't watched it since that original, like, watch. But what I've heard from, like, people who've watched it that are now my age or, like, older, who watched it when they were, like, my age when I first watched it, so much funnier now
Really?
because there was a lot of jokes that, like, didn't necessarily go over your head but weren't as funny to you
Okay.
when you didn't get the implications behind them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because there's some, like, political humor and stuff like that, too.
Mm-hmm.
Next one up is Jesse Moss as Chad.
Oh, no.
He played Jason Wise in Final Destination 3.
Oh, I don't know if that's the one I've seen. I don't remember.
Which
We've been
one?
over this multiple times, and I
Which
never
one is
remember.
it?
It's the one where the lady gets like cooked up in the suntan thing. Is that 3?
Yeah.
I've seen that movie.
That's not how I would describe for future reference.
That's the
Bob.
only one I remember. That's the only thing I remember about that film.
Are you sure you saw all of it?
I saw at least that part.
Okay, you did not see all of it. Because for future reference, if you're ever going to describe a Final Destination film to someone, don't describe any of the later kills, because that's just spoilery, right?
Fair enough.
What you
I
describe
hadn't thought about it.
is the initial kill.
Oh, like the first one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense.
Do you know the premise of Final Destination?
People die.
Oh, no, you don't know the premise of Final
Nope.
Destination. Do you
I don't
want me
know
to tell you
shit.
the premise of Final Destination?
We're gonna get to it.
I know, but do you just want me to tell you? Because it's the premise of the whole franchise. Like, it's not
Okay, yeah, sure.
just the
What is
premise
it?
of one movie. And I mean, like, spoiler warning here for Final Destination. Because if you can go into the first Final Destination not knowing this premise, it's great.
Okay,
Do we want to do a spoiler warning here? Can I?
then just don't tell me.
Oh, okay. I just figured you already knew because you've seen.
No,
some
I
of that
don't.
movie.
I on God, I think I watched
I think just that kill.
maybe just that kill. I don't know. I don't remember how I watched it. I might have been walking through the room when that happened or something.
Okay. Well, then I won't tell you.
Because you know me, I don't watch horror stuff, and I'm sure someone was watching that movie, and I went, I'm gonna walk through this room to grab something, and I'm gonna watch this happen and go, that was horrific. I'm leaving now.
That's fair.
That's probably what happened.
I guess, but yeah, if you can get into Final Destination without knowing the premise of Final Destination, great first watch. At least the first movie.
Okay, that's cool.
I mean, it's a premise for all the movies, as it is with the series. Philip Granger as Sheriff. He played Uncle Larry from Upload. He was on 2 episodes in 2020. Brandon J. McLaren as Jason. He played Toby in She's the Man. Christy Lang as Naomi. She played Michelle from iZombie. Between 2018 and 2019, she was on 9 episodes.
I watched that show. I don't remember who that is.
Yeah, I didn't remember who it is either.
I've seen that show in its entirety. It's
I
quite
think
good.
It's one of the main character's friends,
Probably.
but like from the
Beginning?
beginning.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I didn't know off the top of my head.
I didn't either.
Because like 2018, 2019, it's like the first season, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Chellen Simmons as Chloe. She played Ashley Freund in Final Destination 3.
Lots of Final Destination actors.
Well, there's just 2.
That's 2, but that's a
But
lot.
they're the same film, too.
Yeah.
Travis Nelson as Chuck. Played Riley from The Lake. He was on 15 episodes between 2023 and 2022. Alex Arsenault as Todd. Played Trevor from Supernatural. He was on 1 episode in 2010. Like a 1 episode.
I was
one
about to say,
actor.
I don't remember a character being named Trevor. And I've seen, like,
That-
up to, like, season 8 of that show.
That's fair. Adam Boychesney? Buchesney? I don't know. As Mitch. Played Will from You, Me, Her. He was on 15 episodes from 2019 to 2020. And then finally, Joseph Allen Sutherland as Mike. He played Cop 2 and Leviathan from Supernatural. He was on 1 episode in 2011.
Okay. I think it's very interesting that this film has a ton of TV actors rather than movie actors. It's
Well,
very different.
A good amount of these actors are smaller.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you, like this film, I like it, and I think it has a lot of popularity amongst horror fans. But it, from what I can tell, was a limited release.
Okay.
I think one of its wins, I think it was the one from Fangoria,
Ooh.
was best limited release / direct-to-video.
Okay, that makes sense.
Just so you know right now. Director is Eli Craig.
Thought you were going to say Eli Roth.
No.
I was like, Eli Roth
That'd be
directed this film?
That'd be a very different movie.
I know. I
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
oh, no.
That'd be a very different movie.
I have expected you to say, who is it, James Wan? The guy that does Final Destination? Because there are 2 actors from those
That's
films in
fair.
this.
There's another reason for that.
Oh, okay, cool.
There's also a reason for all the Supernatural actors.
Oh,
'Cause I didn't mention it, but a bunch of these actors were also in Supernatural besides the ones I mentioned
awesome. Okay.
as little roles. But yeah, he also wrote and directed Little Evil. Don't know if you're familiar with that.
I've
It was
heard
on
of that.
Netflix because it's a Netflix original.
I've heard of that, but I don't know what it is.
It's like what's it? I think this guy. I want to say he starts dating this woman,
Mm-hmm.
and she has a kid,
Ah,
but the kid's the Antichrist.
nice. Classic blunder, dating a woman with children.
The Antichrist. That's
the
not the issue.
Antichrist.
And if you couldn't tell from that, he also wrote this film.
Yeah.
The other writer is Morgan Jurgensen. Jurgensen? It's with a J. I'm going to say
Okay.
Jurgensen. He really hasn't worked on a lot else.
Okay.
The only thing he's written since this was one episode of Fastlane in 2019.
I don't even know what that is.
Budget is $5 million,
It's pretty solid for a
About-
direct-to-video film.
at least an estimate from what I could find. Not sure how close that is, but the box office was 5.2 million worldwide.
For a direct-to-video, making its budget,
Not direct to video, limited release.
limited release, I'm sorry.
But making its budget for a limited release is very, very good.
That's pretty fucking solid, yeah.
Especially for like
A horror movie, too?
a horror movie in the 2010s
2010? Mm-hmm.
that probably didn't get a lot of like super big hype.
Yeah.
That's really good because it made what 1.1 times its budget.
Yeah, which, I mean,
Thereabouts.
I feel like in a lot of cases, limited release or, like, streaming films don't make their money up, like, when they release them and stuff. Like, usually don't at least cover their budget.
Limited release rely on DVD sales and stuff.
Mhm.
And so a big part for them is either having a really low budget to begin with or having a very good name attached.
Yep.
To like make up their losses, but that's like usually over a long time period because
Yeah.
like DVD sales and stuff. And then streaming stuff, that's not designed to make up its budget.
No.
That is designed to be a number on a streaming platform.
Yeah, to sell subscriptions,
Yeah.
basically.
Like, I mean, what's a good example? Like The Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people love that show, but I don't even know if it's made up its budget
Probably not.
because they spend so much money on it.
It's just an expensive show to make.
And it brings a lot of people to the service.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, yeah, maybe if we counted every person who watched it and all their money was going to that show.
Yeah, but it's
maybe-
not.
But it's how much they're playing for Disney Plus, which is a good amount,
Mm-hmm.
divided between everything they've watched. And that probably doesn't pay for that
Probably not.
at all. Anyways, so if you're wondering why people from Final Destination 3 were in this film,
Mm-hmm.
and also Supernatural,
Can I guess?
Yeah.
Is Eric Kripke tied to this in any way?
no.
Ah, damn, that's the dude who made...
Much
okay.
simpler than that.
Never mind.
Much simpler than
I just
that.
know his name because he did The Boys and Supernatural and a bunch of other stuff, and he's very good at what he does.
No, they're just shot in the same area.
Oh,
Do you know
Really?
what that area is?
no.
Canada.
Oh, it's Canadian.
Yeah.
Oh, Final Destination's Canadian?
No, just Final Destination 3 is shot in Canada.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. That's really
Because they
interesting.
have some tax stuff. So is Supernatural.
I also didn't know that.
I didn't know that about Final Destination 3, but when we were talking about it, I looked it up. And yeah.
Huh, that's cool. So that's a really interesting crossover just because they're shot in the same area.
I didn't know this film was Canadian, but yeah.
I'm going to be honest. Kind of, I don't know why, and this is esoteric and doesn't make any sense. It feels Canadian. Just
What?
this movie. Just based on my feelings now of the name, of what I've seen.
No. That's like you pulling up Supernatural, looking at it for 5 seconds, going, "This feels Canadian."
Sam could be Canadian.
Yeah, but do you ever
Dean
look
can't
at?
be Canadian.
Do you watch Supernatural and go, "Wow, this is a real Canadian show right here"?
No. I do that with Letterkenny.
That's why there's the FBI agent.
Yeah. I just thought I would make a dumb joke. All right. Damn.
I don't think you're making a joke. I think you're being serious, and now you're trying to hide.
Why would I say that? That's an absurd statement. I just said it because it was funny.
Because it's you, Bob.
Okay.
Okay, well, that's all I got.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
All right, let's go watch this Canadian masterpiece. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We just finished watching Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
I want you to know, he's not annoyed because of the movie. He actually really liked the movie. He's annoyed because of something I did before we started recording.
Yeah, he does it almost every time.
It's very funny for me.
It's frustrating.
It gets me in a good mood, at
I'm
least. and
glad it-
that's what's important.
I'm glad it puts you in a good mood. It makes me angry.
Are you an angry-o?
What?
Are you an angry-o?
Oh, I thought you have asked if I was an angry hoe. And I was like, I'm not an angry hoe. Mostly because I'm not a hoe. I am angry. I'm not
Well.
a hoe.
Well.
Okay. Unrelated. Anyway.
Good movie.
Yeah, it was fun. No, it's really good. I had a really good time. I couldn't keep the bit up. I can't just go. I can't keep a straight face. This movie made me laugh really hard.
Yeah. Okay. On that note, I am going to say, go watch it before you get any
Oh,
spoilers.
for the love of God, go
I mean,
watch this movie.
I don't remember, like, before I knew what the premise of this film was. But Bob didn't know
No.
really anything going in. I think we got halfway through the movie and you went, this is not what I expected.
Also, like, yeah, because I was like, all right, we're doing stuff. And I was like, is there ever going to be a switch up? Or is this just the whole movie? And it was just the whole movie. I was so surprised.
So yeah, please go watch it before we spoil anything. But if you're not going to take that warning seriously, I'm just going to start
Yeah.
describing it. So we'll go into the summary right now. Final warning. Cool. Okay. So I think the best way to describe this film, just straight off the bat, is like a meta like spoof of, I'd say, like redneck horror movies
Yeah, that's pretty good.
of like specifically like the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm. Like, what, Wrong Turn?
Wrong Turn's the one I'd think of. They even make a joke about someone eating someone's face,
That was really funny. I enjoyed that.
and it's very much a wrong turn. There's also some references to Deliverance spread throughout.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole thing is kind of like a spoof of that like genre of horror movie of like kind of redneck, inbred, hillbilly
Cannibals.
horror. Usually there's cannibalism, usually there's
Yeah.
inbred stuff, but hillbilly horror is what we're going to call it. And it's all basically a spoof of that genre,
Mm-hmm.
or at the very least, it's a meta commentary of that genre, and then a spoof on a horror movies
In
at
general,
large.
yeah.
Yeah. And so if that sounds like an interesting premise. Good for you, because it is, and it's very funny, basically.
So funny.
Like it's meta, which is great, but it usually uses the meta elements to just make fun of itself.
Mhm.
And so getting into the summary, it's very simple, and it's kind of like what you'd expect in a lot of ways from a kind of cabin in the woods situation, where basically it's a bunch of college kids going out into the woods to go camping and to smoke weed and drink beer.
Yep.
And they're having a good time. They're skinny dipping.
Mm-hmm.
And one of their friends, she gets taken by the hillbillies.
Ugh.
And so they freak out. And they're like, we got to get her back. And they start, trying to get her back. And those damn hillbillies just start fighting back and murdering. And, yeah, that's the summary, at least from the college kids' side of the story.
Yeah.
Because really what this film is it's a conversation on, and they literally spell it out for you, but it's a conversation on, like, what can happen from misunderstandings.
Mm-hmm.
Because, well, we get to see the college kids' side of the story, and that's like this really super classic, like, not great, like, generic
Mm-hmm.
kind of cabin in the woods, hillbilly horror situation. What we mostly focus on is Tucker and Dale, who are they're in the middle of the woods because Tucker bought a vacation home
Yep.
so that they can go out into the woods and, like, I assume in the hunt, but primarily fish.
Yep.
It's like an old abandoned cabin, and so they're fixing it up. Tucker spent, like, all his money on it. And when they're out there, they're fishing one night, and they see this girl go swimming, and she gets startled. She falls off a rock, knocks herself out, and so they save her from drowning.
Mhm.
And then, while waiting for her friends to come and get her, because they ran off because, they were scared. Not
Mhm.
everyone does well under pressure.
I think the line is not everyone does well under crisis.
But, while they're waiting for her friends to come and get her, random people just start killing themselves all over their property. And, mayhem ensues as both sides, like, freaking out.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
It's
A lot of
pretty
funny. I can't really get into it more than that without spoiling it. I've already given you
Enough.
so many spoilers.
Yeah.
But a lot of the fun is seeing, like, the ludicrous lengths that things go
Yes.
to keep the misunderstanding going.
It escalates so quickly.
And not only, like, to keep the misunderstanding going, but to keep, like, the body count rising without anything actually happening.
Yes.
It's great. It's so
This
good.
movie is just a series of tragic misunderstandings.
Oh, and tragic accidents
Oh my.
that
they're-
are just, like, the most Deus Ex Machina thing ever.
Oh, it's awesome. It's
It's
so
great.
insane.
Yeah, and no, I honestly don't have much to say
I don't know
about the film outside that general premise, because
Yeah.
it's honestly very simple, and not a lot happens in the film outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly like getting to watch events unfold. That's the joy of it.
Yeah.
So I think the only things I personally really want to comment on are some of, like, just the really obvious homage stuff. right off the
Oh.
bat.
See, I don't
'Cause,
know any
like-
of this stuff, so this would be cool.
No, like the more general stuff, because
Okay.
I don't want to get into like specific spoilers of stuff. But I guess there's like a couple. Well, there's one basic like really big homage thing I want to talk about.
Okay.
Because it stands out, and I know people can have issues with it, and that's the color palette of this film.
Okay, yeah, this thing. I did have an issue with
It's
this.
like I said, this film is primarily like a homage to like films from the early 2000s. And so one of the things you notice right away while watching this film is like the saturation is turned up really high.
Mm-hmm.
So everything looks like, I don't know, faded and orange
Yeah.
almost. And it doesn't look good.
No, I don't like it at all.
But Bob's not aware of this yet because we haven't really watched films from that era. But this is how like so many mainstream horror movies looked for like a good like 5-10 years in the early 2000s.
This is why horror, like, who said this was a good idea, man?
And it's not great, but it was like a big fad. And it was especially a big fad among certain films that we'll watch at some point that may or may not have shared similarities to this one's basic premise. You
I
can't
see.
figure out what I'm talking about. You want to take a stab in the dark?
Wrong turn. No?
No.
Not that one?
Other hillbilly one,
Hillbillies.
more famous.
Texas Chainsaw remake?
Mm-hmm.
That's dumb.
Some of them are oversaturated. And there's a bunch of stuff that are like this, but that's the one that really comes out to me,
That sucks.
being oversaturated.
Because I really hate it.
Yeah, it's not great.
And it only works in this film because it's making fun of that genre, and they used it as a stylistic choice to make you realize what it's doing, and it's fine. But if I were to watch a serious film that looked like that, I could not take it
No,
seriously
yeah.
at all.
I don't like it, but while I don't like it in general, I really, really, really like it in this film. And there's one reason, and it's not that it's referencing other films or like the genre at this period in time.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I really like it is it makes me feel like I'm in a horror movie.
Oh, okay.
Like, it makes me very specifically feel like this event, the series of unfortunate events, is like inserted into a horror movie. And I don't know if you noticed, but at the very end, how it kind of went away
It did go.
because we're out of like the horror movie part of it, where it's
Oh
like
my
all the
God.
confusion.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a really cool tool, and I just wanted to bring it up because it's like kind of a turn off. It's weird, but it's there purposely, and I love it. Mad
Okay.
respect there. The other thing I want to mention is kind of like the characters and dialogue.
Oh, man.
It's not good,
No, but it's funny.
but it's funny because it's not good in like the best way possible.
Mhm.
I'm mostly referring to like the side characters, not Tucker and Dale, but like mostly the college kids. They're very stereotypical,
Oh, yeah.
and some of their dialogues like really stupid,
But it's stupid on purpose.
but it's so reminiscent of like 1,000 different pairs of college kids I've seen
Mm-hmm.
in every other slasher movie ever.
Exactly.
We like start the film watching the college kids driving in a car, and they're talking about like, well, not we start the film after the cold open.
Mm-hmm.
We start the film watching these college kids, and they're just giving the most stereotypical banter ever.
Yeah.
Like, we open with Chad, who fucking Chad, that's his name.
That is his name.
Super stereotype right there.
Oh, yeah.
But he's talking about like everyone else is freaks because they're not in Omega Beta, and then they all start going Omega Beta.
it's so fucking
Then
dumb.
One of the guys is like, I brought the weed, and then someone in the back's like, oh my god, guys, we forgot the beer, and then they all start screaming, and it's just so stupid and over the top, but it's perfect. I think those are the two like very blatant homages that stick out right from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do want to mention them right now. I mean, there's a bunch of other stuff that references like other hillbilly films. Like
Oh,
I
yeah.
said Deliverance. Mad Deliverance vibes
Oh, really?
at the very, very beginning
Okay.
before we get the whole like focus on Tucker and Dale. But, you know, let's see. Outside of that, I think we can mention the practical effects.
Yeah, they're cool.
They're pretty good.
Yeah, they're pretty solid.
There's a good amount of like CGI blood and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but it's all right.
It's not bad.
It's not like super egregious. None of the kills are like super gory, but they're bloody.
They are bloody.
And that's fun.
Yeah.
And they're also like pretty creative, but also in the most I've seen this before kind of way.
Exactly. They're creative, but not derivative of like they're not creative. There's something you've seen before, but it doesn't feel derivative because they do it in funny ways.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh my god.
And I think it's also because you know all the kills are going to happen
Yeah.
before they happen.
Instant. You're like, oh no.
And it's like the most this is super preventable kind of way.
It's like, oh, that's really unfortunate that just happened to that guy.
Okay. Do you have anything else you want to mention?
Yeah, I want to talk about specifically Tucker and Dale.
Okay.
because they are so fucking funny.
Oh, they have such a good like best friend relationship.
The chemistry between those two people in this film is so good because it makes all the ridiculous shit that is happening to them feel so much more like. So when you're watching it from the college kids' perspective, they look like monsters.
Oh, and their dialogue sounds
It's like
kind of bad.
yeah, sounds horrible. But when you're looking at it from Tucker and Dale's perspective, it's like, oh my god, this is so horrible. Why are these college kids killing themselves on our property? I'm just saying, like, they both Tucker and Dale sell it so hard that these are all tragedies happening to them, but they do such a good job of playing it off of each other in ways when the college kids are witnessing them that they sound super evil.
Yeah.
And I just want to give props to both those actors. They're so good.
Yeah, it's a really good buddy film.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like,
And-
I love Tucker and Dale so much.
Yeah, it's really the thing I think that carries this movie,
Oh, yeah.
and so I think that needs to be like mentioned.
Absolutely. They're so phenomenal. Oh, there's a dog, too. I do want to bring up Jangers.
Jangers.
I like Jangers. That's Dale's dog. He's very cool. Good
Yeah.
dog.
He's like an old hound, mastiff kind of mix. He's missing an eye.
Yeah. I
He
think he's
looks-
blind in the other one, too, by the way. I think it's Milky.
No, it's just blue.
Oh, okay.
He looks kind of mean, but he's a sweetheart.
Yeah, he looks mean as hell, but
But
he's
he's
so
like-
sweet.
Probably dumber than Piper.
Okay.
I'm
look,
just joking. There's no one dumber than Piper.
No, it's impossible. My dog, well, currently she's eating, but if she weren't, she would be looking empty eyes into nothingness, per usual. This is hard to talk about because, like, I want to. There's not a lot.
There's a
Because
lot
once
of
you
it
give
is
away the premise, it's like,
jokes and spoofs,
yeah,
and then like goofy kills, but there's not a lot of meat there. And the meat that's there isn't like necessarily the best. Like this film works solely because some of the actors carry it, and
Yeah.
it's funny.
mm-hmm,
I think the actors that really carried it. We've talked about Tyler Labine,
mm-hmm,
Alan Tudyk,
yeah,
but also Katrina Bowden, who plays Allison,
Mhm.
and then Jesse Moss, who plays Chad.
Chad is like maniacally.
Oh, he's a maniac.
he's a maniac, and it's awesome.
But they all four carry it, and they're really the heart of the film.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
you know, props to all of them.
And the thing is, like, the writing in this film, while terrible, it's terrible on purpose, and it has a reason to be terrible because they're making fun of these stereotypes and stuff. But it makes it to where, like, the side characters don't really matter. But that's kind of how it would be in a film
Yeah.
like this, so it's fine.
Everything works for the premise.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like maybe not necessarily great.
mm-hmm.
Very funny though.
It's hilarious.
Okay. Do you have anything else?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I'm gonna do a small spoiler section now because there's something I really want to talk about with you. Well, two things.
Okay. Hi, everybody. This is Future Bob coming at you to let you know that if you do not want any major spoilers for this film, please skip to 51 minutes and 19 seconds immediately. Once again, if you do not want any major spoilers for this movie, please skip to 51 minutes and 19 seconds immediately.
Okay. So, two things. First of all, I want to mention that like Allie's character
Mhm.
is there to like incite off like the misunderstandings, right?
Yeah.
But she's also there to be like very obviously state the premise of the whole movie
Yeah.
in like the most meta way.
uh-huh.
And I think it's both super lazy from a writing perspective, but also very, very funny because it's so blatantly obvious.
Well, yes, but it makes the film so much funnier because you know exactly the premise. And also the premise has been explained to the characters in the film
Yeah.
and they just don't get it.
Yeah, no.
And that's what makes it so good.
I love it. I just wanted to mention that I think it's really stupid how she's just like, yeah, I'm studying psychology. I think misunderstanding causes a bunch of conflict and doesn't realize it until way later in the film.
Yep.
I don't know. It's like peak B-movie writing, but at the same time, because it's in this film, it not only works, but is very, very funny.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to mention that really quick because I think it's really, really fun.
I think it adds a lot, to be
Oh,
honest.
yeah.
Because if you don't include that, not to say that this movie is high art or hard to understand, but some people might just not get it.
Oh,
And if you don't have that piece of information, it's like the film doesn't work as well because it's not nearly as funny.
it also is part of what fleshes out Allie's character.
Yeah, that's
From
true.
just like clumsy damsel in distress who keeps getting knocked out, which is so funny.
So funny.
To this is like an actual character with depth, which we
Yeah.
learn throughout the film, which is also really nice because she's not just like blonde college girl. She's
Yeah.
more than that. All right. Aside from that, I just want to mention, and I want to mention this to you because I'm not sure if you like really thought this through.
Mhm.
So it needs to be said. Okay, Chad's a maniac, right?
Chad is a maniac.
Like probably actually insane.
Yes, like clinically so.
Because, like, the second something goes wrong, he's like, this is a great opportunity. I have this axe. I'm going to kill someone.
Yeah,
You want to call the cops?
I'll
You
kill.
should die.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill them by myself. Right? Crazy. That is not why he's super insane, though.
Okay.
This character's insane, or at least there's something wrong with him, because we learn, spoilers for the end of the film, that's why this is in the spoiler section,
Ah, okay.
his mom
Mm-hmm.
was the survivor of, I think they call it the Memorial Day Massacre.
Yeah.
Somewhere out in the woods, her and a bunch of her friends were killed. And from Chad's perspective, all he knows is that his mom was the lone survivor, and by the time he was born, she was like in a psychiatric ward.
Institutionalized is what he says.
Yeah, and so he had to be raised by his grandma.
Yep.
Now, mega spoilers here. We eventually find out that like he's part hillbilly.
Yeah, which is Chad's whole thing.
Such a stupid bit, but I think it's very funny. It's like, you're part hillbilly.
Yeah.
No, that's impossible.
You freaks are lying. That's
But
ridiculous.
he's part hillbilly because his mom was raped.
by one of the hillbillies.
Yeah, who just happens to look like Chad,
With a beard.
which might be where he gets maybe some mental health issues.
Yep.
Because, well, hillbillies aren't the problem. Crazy murderers.
Those are the problem.
Those are the problem. Anyways, while Chad doesn't know that his dad's a hillbilly, he did know that his mom was, like, attacked and
Mhm.
all her friends were murdered. And so, assumedly,
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I didn't think about this.
he knows where that happened, which just happens to be the woods
Where they're camping.
where he brought all his friends to go camping.
Oh my god, this guy's a fucking crazy person.
More importantly than that, it's heavily implied that I think the cabin that Tucker and Dale are like living in is the cabin owned by like the Memorial Day Massacre, like hillbillies.
Yeah.
Which is super close
Super close.
to where Chad and his friends
Mm-hmm.
were camping. So my assumption here is he took them to the literal site of the massacre.
No, he did. Yeah, he says they're buried underneath us.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. I didn't put all that together.
Which is a super fucked up thing to do. But my reading of that situation is that Chad was hoping for hillbillies to attack him
So he could get revenge.
so he could get revenge and just murder them. That's why he's like so like weird with the axe the whole time, even before like
Yeah. He's so gung ho
sees
about
some.
murdering these hillbillies.
Yep.
Tucker and Dale have done nothing
this
wrong.
is probably a plan he's been building for a while.
Oh
'Cause
my
at the very
god.
beginning of the movie, someone's like, "Whose plan was it to come out here anyways?" And no one says anything.
Jesus Christ.
I just wanted to mention that because I wasn't sure. If
No,
you
that's
put it
good.
together.
I didn't think about it. It didn't connect. I hadn't really considered. While we're in the spoiler section,
Mhm.
we talk about the cold open.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Really?
Okay, so it's a cool cold open because first of all, it's like found footage,
Mhm.
which is really weird because like
It
you
is
watch
weird.
it and you're like, wait, is this a found footage movie?
That's exactly what I did.
Which you did, which is a cool trick. But also, I think it kind of tricks you into thinking that this is going to be like kind of an Evil Dead, like Monsters in the Woods kind of situation.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's what you thought. Because you only see a brief moment of like some form of deformed monster man.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think it is enough to trick you, which is kind of cool. And I like going for that as like a cold open because it keeps the joke going on longer before you realize it.
Oh yeah, it had me for the first like 45 minutes of the movie.
And you think it was the cold open that did that?
Yeah, it was the cold open and the setup.
Okay. Which, I mean, fair enough. I can totally get behind that. The reason I don't like the cold open is two things.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if this is more because I'm more eagle-eyed than you or because you're still blind.
Yep.
Go get new glasses, Bob.
I will.
I'm going to start shaming you on the podcast so you do it.
Don't do that. I'll do it after I move.
Fair. Okay.
That's literally what I'm waiting on.
But the reason I don't like it is two things. A, you can see who the monster man is.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard because they're like fucked up, but if you're paying really close attention, you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're not being like super attentive in that moment, maybe it goes past you.
It went over my head.
But I remember watching it for the first time, seeing who that person was, and then being like, oh, so this person's going to end up here eventually. So I didn't like that because it spoils primarily the fact that like they're going to end up fucked up like that.
Yeah.
But the other thing I didn't like is then it closes the cold open with 3 days later.
3 days earlier.
Yeah,
you mean.
3 days earlier, which is a nice like time establishment.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. But that then does imply that this person got fucked up in the following events. and then survives them.
Yeah, but I like that.
I know, but it's kind of like a spoiler. I guess my point is, well, I can get behind maybe it convinces you that this is going to be a different type of film
Mm-hmm.
or something like that. I would have preferred if this cold open was a end credit scene.
Maybe.
I think that would have been a stronger one, because then this movie would have just started on these college kids driving down the road having a conversation in their car.
I don't know. So I think the reason I like this cold open so much is because of the reasons you already stated, with like confusing the audience and know what type of film this will be. But also, I think it establishes super early on in the film what basically it makes everything that happens at the end of the film with this character feel better because he survives and he's become everything he hates. And you know he's stuck like that.
I know. I guess my point is, but I'd rather see that at the end, because I think that would also make the beginning of the film stronger, because then it would have started exactly like a stereotypical movie. Bunch of college kids driving down the road. They pull into a gas station, last stop gas. There's a bunch of creepy hillbillies there. Like, that's just how the film would have started. And I think that would have been a much stronger start, because we would have gotten, I don't know, like 5-10 minutes into the film before they do the switch up in tone, instead of having like cold open tone, cheesy movie tone, you know?
I guess. I don't know. I like the cold open a lot. I think I don't know. I guess it just like sort of establishes
I'm not saying remove it.
something super early on that I enjoy coming back around at the end of the film.
I know, but if you see who that character is, it spoils the joke. You didn't see who the character was because you're blind. I can see who the character is, and that tells me immediately what type of film this is.
I guess, yeah. I don't know. I think it's really hard to tell who it is.
No, it's pretty easy.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. No, it's super easy.
But see, like, did you catch it on your first watch through?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Because I didn't catch it.
That's why I said I know you can't catch it, because like it's either your glasses or you don't pay attention as much as me. I think it's a little bit of both.
I really don't pay that. I pay attention, but like,
I think it's because you can't see.
maybe.
But like the person in question, and this is at the cold open, so I don't care about talking about it too much, has part of their face disfigured,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like Two-Face.
Kind of,
So
yeah.
literally half of their face is perfect. That is all you need to identify someone. And you get a good 2 seconds focused on their face. That is 100% enough to see who that is, especially because you see them in the next 3 seconds and it's a close-up on their face again.
Yeah.
It just, because you know this character ends up like that at the end of the film, it immediately tips you off that something's going to go a little funky.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think if you just started the film off as like what happens right after the cold open,
Yeah.
where it's immediately like, oh, this is a stereotypical hillbilly horror film, that just would have been a stronger start for this, what is essentially a spoof movie. Now, I'm not saying you don't have a cold open. I think having a cold open is really fun,
Yeah.
especially because it can trick you into like leaning more into like, this is going to be a cabin in the woods hillbilly horror movie kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
I think what they should have done is had a clip that we don't get to see from the Memorial Day Massacre as the cold open.
Oh, maybe. That'd be kind of cool.
I think that'd be a stronger opening, because we get to see hillbillies killing someone, and then we get to see these college kids driving into the woods.
Mhm. Yeah, but that's basically what we get to see in
Later
the cold
on.
open.
No, because it also happens after.
I
which
guess that's
tells
fair.
us it's the events. I think they should have like shown us some actual hillbillies killing people and been like 20 years later, and then had these kids driving into the same area,
God.
because it would trick you into thinking that's the film you're gonna watch.
Yeah, maybe.
A lot better.
I don't know. I just like the fact that the cold open came back around at the end of the film. And
No, that's
It
great.
feels strong.
But I think I also just have an issue with that as a way to start films, because I think it's spoilery in general. It's kind of like,
Yeah, but I feel like in most films, or at least in this one, it had me anticipating something, being like, what's going to happen that leads to that thing. You know what I mean?
yes, but when you do, I
it
think
almost preps my palate for the film.
that's fair, but I think it's a cheap tool that filmmakers use.
Mm.
I also think it can weaken your dramatic tension because you know things are coming. Just in general, like in any film, doesn't have to be a horror film when you do that. However, if you're going to use like, okay, this happens, and then we're like 3 days earlier, which again, super cheesy, but if you're going to use it, I think the proper way to do it is you have that be like your rising action that you saw, and so then there's still stuff that happens after that. Showing
Maybe.
the final moments of the film in the cold open, I think is just a bad decision in general, because it tells you the final moments of the film before you even watch the movie. It's the equivalent of like reading a book. You open it, you go to the last page, you read the last page, and then you start reading it. Some people do that. but it's really
That's
shitty.
fucking weird.
I know some people do it because they're
Really?
like, I want to know what the ending is, so if I don't like it.
Well, how do you know if you're gonna like it if you haven't seen the rest of the movie?
Exactly.
Or read the rest of the book? Yeah, that's
That's my point. Again, it's not a thing I like in movies, so maybe that's my issue. But I also think the way it's shot does not help its case, and that's not something you can judge it on because you can't see. But
fair. I don't know. I just really like it personally, and I think it adds a lot when it comes to this film. Because
no, it's cool because I think the reason you really like it is it's because it's an actual moment of like slasher killing
Mhm.
in this film that doesn't have that, and that's kind of cool.
I guess.
But then again, I think I'd rather do the let's show some hillbillies killing people 20 years earlier, and then just still keep that in the film. Just have it be a post-credit scene.
Yeah.
Because this film really does deserve a post-credit scene.
You
it really
thought
feels
it had
like
one.
it should. And I think part of that is I think I was thinking of this because that clip just feels like it should have been at the end.
Maybe.
Like it almost feels like they did an audience test with this at the post-credit scene,
Mm-hmm.
and then they were like, "No, you need a cold open," and so they just clipped it and put it at the front.
Yeah.
That's
don't
really
know.
what it feels like. Because they even did the separate credits thing where it's like the quick credits and then the really long, slow crawl credits.
Oh yeah.
And then usually you have the post-credit scene in between those two. But instead they just had a title sequence, which is weird. And again, kind of feels like they maybe ripped something out and moved it somewhere else. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I
Okay.
do. Sorry, I thought I had to sneeze.
Okay, I think we should go back, though.
Yeah, sure.
All right, welcome back, party people.
Hey, oh.
I guess we're going to do recommendations, right?
Yes. Oh, this is okay.
All right, Bob.
If you love a good movie about two best friends, this is a great best friend movie. Be honest.
You want to see me and Bob in a film?
Okay, I didn't know if we were going to talk about that. But yeah.
Not
It's-
necessarily personality-wise.
Well,
but
a little bit.
maybe appearance-wise.
Maybe I may look like Dale, and he may look a little bit like Tucker.
Bob really looks like Dale.
I really look like
Like a
Dale. Ben
lot.
doesn't look like Tucker. He's just doesn't look like Dale. That's the problem.
When Bob doesn't cut his hair for a while.
Yep, that was really the big thing. I was like, I need to grow my hair out. Ben mentioned maybe we should go to the convention looking like Tucker and Dale, and I kind of want to because it sounds really fun.
Sounds
But we have
funny.
to find the hat and the other hat. We have to find the hats. I'd also have to get a flannel, cut the sleeves off, get some fake tattoos, or just get some real tattoos. I don't know.
Did you see the one on his arm? It was like a weird clown thing.
I
I
he
was
has a
watching
bunch
it, I
of
was
weird
like-
fucking tattoos.
I wonder if that's his actual tattoo.
It might be. I don't know. But yeah, if you want a movie about two best friends, they are so funny together. If you want a scary horror, or not scary, a funny horror movie,
A horror comedy.
a horror comedy, this is probably one of the best horror comedies I've ever seen in my life. It is. I shit you not. We have what 57
57
outtakes.
and they're just all Bob laughing.
They're all just me chuckling. There was like a solid 15 minutes where I just did not stop laughing. I was just like cracking up over and over and over. Because this movie does not miss. It's so funny. If you like over the top blood and guts, not really guts, mostly blood,
over the top deaths.
deaths, gore, it's great for that. If you're into violence and like over the top violence, it's not violent.
But it's like cartoonishly violent.
It's cartoonishly violent, but it's not like brutal, I
It's
guess,
fast.
in any way, like because all the deaths are accidents.
And they're fast.
Yeah. If you're into meta horror movies, this might be like the only meta horror movie I've friggin' seen. I'm trying to think. I can't think of anything else that's like this. Because we haven't seen Cabin in the Woods, which I know is meta horror, and you really like.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it. I think that's all my recommendations. I don't have any more.
Okay. I think a lot of the same ones. I think if you're looking for a horror comedy, this is one of the best ones. If you're looking for a kind of meta movie that spoofs a genre of horror, also one of the better recommendations for that. But I mean, I think the real recommendation here is if you're like a fan of kind of 2000s to 2010 horror movies, you know, like the Naughties style of horror, or at the very least have seen a bunch of them, or you're just a fan of like hillbilly horror movies.
Yeah.
If you've seen or are a fan of either of those two things, that really helps this film really hit with you. It makes it a lot of fun. Also, not necessarily a recommendation for any of you listeners, but if you have a friend who hasn't like heard of this movie at all, this is a really good fun like watch to show them.
Yeah.
Like without any context, being like, I'm gonna put on this movie because like it's designed to trick you,
mm-hmm.
and so like watching it trick someone is a lot of fun. At least it was for me.
I'm glad you enjoyed yourself.
All right, rate it, Bob.
Okay, look. Here's where I say this a lot. I'm in a hard spot because like objectively, it's not like the best movie ever.
No.
But if you look at it from a perspective of it's trying to be a spoof film and it's trying to make fun of this genre, now I have not seen any films in the genre at all,
No.
but it is hilarious. And if it's at least funny, I mean, and the kills are over the top, and Alan Tudyk and Tyler Labine do an awesome job together, like bouncing off each other. What was his name? Jason Moss? Something Moss. Whoever plays Chad.
I don't think it's Jesse Moss.
Jesse Moss. I knew it was a J. Jesse Moss is an amazing Chad.
Also, you know what's really funny?
What?
His role in like Final Destination, which I think is how a lot of other people know him,
Mm-hmm.
at least in the horror community, is not like Chad at all.
That's funny.
And it's so weird. 'Cause
But
I'm
they
like,
all do
fucking Chad, but you're likable here. What happened?
an amazing job. And also, the premise alone of this film is fucking insane.
Oh yeah.
It is like one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in my life.
Simple premise, insane execution, and leaps in logic.
Yeah, but it all works because that's the vibe and the tone they're going for.
It works because it's taken seriously,
So,
or at the very least, unseriously.
like, I had a blast with this film. And this is a situation where, like, if I were to rate this just, like, purely on my own, I want to give it a 5.
Okay.
But I can't. Because if you show this to somebody and you go in, yeah, let's watch this horror movie. It is a horror movie.
Well, it's a horror comedy.
It's a horror comedy. But, like, I could see someone coming out of this and going, that wasn't what I wanted, I guess. Or, like, coming in with the wrong expectations and being tricked by the cold open and then being disappointed with the results is, I guess, what I'm saying.
Sure.
4.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool deal. All right. I guess it's my turn.
Yeah.
I don't think I have as hard of a time rating it as Bob. Like, I really like this film. I think it's a lot of fun. I do think it has some issues, though.
Sure.
I talked about the cold open thing, or I talked about the cold open a little bit on our spoiler section. Don't know if you heard that. And I think that's a weak part in this film. I also think, well, some of the, like, dialogue and stuff like that is very reminiscent of horror movies. It's weak at times. Same with characterization. And then just generally, well, I think the premise is really fun. I wish they had kept up with, like, the whole this is a classic hillbilly killer movie for a little bit longer at the beginning. At least on maybe the college kid side, at least with framing and everything like that. Because I think some of the strongest moments of the film, at least at first, are just seeing the college kids interact with Tucker and Dale before we get to learn who they are.
Yeah.
Great.
I'm just thinking about the thing at the beginning with, because
Yeah.
that made me laugh so fucking hard.
It's great. I guess my point is that, like, well, I think this movie's great, and I think it hits its premise basically as good as you'd expect. There are some issues with the film, and so I think I'm going to go with the 4.5, both because I think it hits the premise, and it really runs with it, and it
Mhm.
embraces it, and it makes it very funny. And at the very least, it deserves a 4, and I'm going to give it a 4.5. Just because I think I personally enjoy it, and I think some of the cast members really bring it home. But I can't give it a 5 in good conscience, because, like,
I want to.
even if I can excuse a lot of the issues as, like, purposeful, there's a little bit too many for me to be like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 4.5, but I'm going to go with a 4.5. Okay, we're going to go to the outtakes now. We said there's 57.
57. That's a lot, man.
You're not going to listen to 57.
You might, if they're all good.
You know,
I'll
if
keep
they're
them
all
all
good,
in.
Bob will keep them in.
What is the most we've done? What was that one we had? What was it? We had like 110 one time.
Yeah.
What was that one Cut of the Dead?
Yeah.
Oh God.
But I think these might be more usable. Anyways, tell us how many there is. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll see you guys in a minute. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the outtake section for this episode of Beware the Board. I hope you're enjoying our review of Tucker and Dale so far. I think this movie's super fucking funny and also just really, really fun. But if you do know any spoilers from this outtake section, please skip to 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 26 seconds immediately. This first clip is Ben and I's reaction to this film's cold open. This is not a found footage film, I swear to God, I'll kill myself. You can feel it. What the fuck? Oh! Was that a bloody person? That's not good. Well, Billy's dead. Oh, what the hell's wrong with that guy's face? Okay.
It's cold open.
This next clip is our reaction to Dale trying to introduce himself to the college kids. That's not menacing at all. Walking up with a fucking farming scythe, bro? What's wrong with Dale?
He's trying to say hi.
This next clip is our reaction to the flashback that we get of the Memorial Day Massacre. Oh! Oh! That was sick! That motherfucking sling saw blades like that? That was cool. Oh, machete in the neck. This next clip is our reaction to watching Tucker and Dale save Allison from drowning. Dale! Dale's going in after her.
He's so graceful.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. I knew this was going to end poorly for them, but I didn't think it was going to go this badly. This next clip is our reaction to learning the name of Dale's dog for the very first time. Jangers?
Yeah. Love Jangers.
Good dog. This next clip is me being optimistic, but very, very wrong. I hope this is resolved peacefully. That would be nice. Tucker, what are you doing?
I just want the clip of you saying, I hope this is resolved peacefully.
I do! As it cuts to
And then
Tucker
we
with a
cut to
chainsaw.
chainsaw.
Oh my God, this kid's gonna shit a brick. Getting waved along.
But I'm sure it'll be peaceful.
I just hate how much of a misunderstanding is happening right now because Tucker and Dale have done nothing wrong.
No, they've been very helpful.
I guess they
Oh, what's that, Bob? Is that
Oh
a
my
hornet's
God.
nest?
Jesus Christ. That's such a stupid plot point. No, don't actually kill that kid. Don't hit. No, Tucker, don't kill that guy.
I think his name's Mitch.
This next clip is our reaction to the first college kid suicide of this film. That kid's a fucking idiot. And that's not Tucker's fault.
And now he sees the bees.
This next clip is our reaction to how Tucker seems to treat all of his wounds. That's so fucking funny. I saw into a bee's nest. Why? Oh, he's pouring beer on his fucking bites. This next clip is our reaction to more college kids committing suicide on Tucker and Dale's property. Oh! Oh, that's awful. Jesus Christ. What does he have, like a pocket knife?
Yeah.
Oh my God! This is the worst situation for them. This feels so bad. This next clip is our reaction to the first time we find out that something may be a little wrong with Chad.
Chad's a maniac.
Chad is a maniac.
Few little tiny murders.
This next clip is our reaction to Tucker and Dale trying to clean up some of these college kids' suicides. Oh. Oh. That's a pretty... Oh, God. Oh. Just... Ugh. Just overall gross.
Pretty good torso.
Yeah. Sucked to be that guy, though.
Nah, that was probably painless.
You think so?
Yeah, because he went in head first.
Are they going to put him back in? This next clip is our reaction to Dale talking to the cop and just making everything so much worse. God, Dale, shut up! This next clip is me realizing I know exactly how this cop's going to die. Oh no. Oh my god.
What's wrong, Bob?
Oh, I know what's gonna happen.
Tell me. Tell me, Bob.
This cop's gonna die tragically.
How's he gonna die, Bob?
He's gonna run into the pole.
No. They wouldn't set up something like that.
This next clip is my reaction to learning that the college kids have taken a hostage of their own. Jesus Christ.
Power Jangers.
They did not. Did they hurt the dog? Tucker's nuts. What the fuck? This next clip is our reaction to Tucker healing himself the only way he knows how. Tucker has his priorities straight. Loses 2 fingers, walks back to his house. Oh, he's drenching his fucking missing fingers in beer. Ugh. Tucker's always down for a good beer.
Apply it directly to the wound.
Yeah.
For extra drunk.
This next clip is our reaction to another series of very unfortunate events happening to Tucker and Dale. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. That's probably moonshine. Oh god. No, Jason's burning to death. This next clip is our reaction to the final confrontation between Chad and Dale. Dale, you're so much bigger than that guy. He's a fucking twink. Just kick his ass.
Just because he's big doesn't mean he's muscly.
No, but he's just got that weight to throw around. You know what I mean?
But also, I don't think Dale's ever been in a fight before.
That was awesome. Even he was surprised at how well that went. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the outtakes. There were a lot.
Yeah. Before we do, our close-up stuff, I do have some announcements, and also some stuff that, we didn't talk about.
That we probably should have.
That we probably should have. But, you know how we are on this show. We do things differently every time.
Because we forget.
Nah, we plan it that way.
That's what we were just joking about. But no, we did not plan it this way.
First of all, guy who's going to be at this convention, Tyler Labine.
Yeah, Dale.
Dale.
That's going to be cool. I'm excited to meet him.
Second of all, we skipped the tagline earlier. Totally on purpose because of the spoilers, but evil just messed with the wrong hillbillies.
Oh, that's good, yeah. That's
Yeah.
good.
Wonder what the evil is.
I wonder what the evil is, too.
College kids.
College kids! And they're very much
friend.
like Dinkelberg from fucking Fairly Odd Parents. Oh,
Ugh.
my God.
The only other thing I want to mention is there was talks about a sequel to this at one point in time, but it's not going to happen.
That's sad. I would love to see a sequel to this. Could
'Cause-
you imagine this, except instead of Tucker and Dale versus Evil, the premise is not the same. Instead of them,
No, it was roughly titled Tucker and Dale Go to Yale, and it was described as Goodwill Hunting meets Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I don't know what Goodwill Hunting is.
It's a movie set at a college.
Okay. I was thinking more honest to God, I just want to see Tucker and Dale put into more horror movie-esque situations.
Yeah.
Like, throw them in a haunted house. That'd be awesome.
Well, I think that was the point. It was like a college kind of
Yeah.
massacre film
Ah, and
mixed with
Tucker and Dale were
Texas
there.
Chainsaw because, it's them, you know?
Okay. That's cool.
But, while there was a lot of stuff talking about it in the works, even up to, 2016, by 2017, they basically were like, nah, it's not going to happen.
That's sad. I would love to see it.
I mean, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
It took 7 years to get there, and then after 7 years, it's kind of probably not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention, it's been 13 now.
Yeah.
So everyone's a lot older.
Yeah, Alan Tudyk is busy voice acting.
But yeah, but I think he was voice acting back then.
Yeah, that's fair.
They're all just older. But I did want to mention that before we move on. Okay, for announcements. Guess what, guys? This was our last convention prep movie. I know it's kind of a sad moment, but like kind of cool. We're through this series, and we don't have anything else to do for this convention for prep. However,
I was about to say, I definitely know where this is going, and it is
However-
not over.
we have a new incredible thing to announce. So, we've had an issue for a while, right? That it's been taking us forever to watch movies on the board. And, doing this convention stuff has been really nice because we get to watch a lot more movies than we would have doing the board.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know.
This is 20.
Is it 20?
This is 20
Okay.
exactly.
So, this is
And there are
20th
only
movie. That would take us 2 boards,
Yep.
at the very least, basically, to get done. But they would have to be like a specific genre and stuff like that. And that's hard.
Mhm.
And so, we're going to do something a little interesting and a little bit different.
I've been dreading this.
We are going to cover a big horror franchise. Like, not on the board. We're just going to watch it.
Just going to watch it.
Now, I don't think normally we would have done this. There is a reason.
There is a reason.
I kind of lied about the fact that we don't have to do any more convention prep.
There's still more prep.
There's basically going to be a bunch of people in a certain franchise at this convention.
Mm-hmm.
Like a bunch of final girls and just random actors and stuff.
Yeah.
And because like they're going to all be there and that's cool, but also the fact that like I've been to this convention and they had screenings for this franchise there, I figured might as well watch it in case like a screening happens or something, so like nothing's spoiled for Bob. And then we can go see it cuz it's super cool getting to watch like a classic horror movie with a bunch of horror fans around you in a movie theater.
Oh, yeah, that's super rad. I
It
would
was
love
so
to.
cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch that franchise. Well, it sucks that it's not going to be on the board, or at least the first movie or two are not going to be on the board.
Yeah.
This will be nice for us to like get it out of the way,
To finish and complete a franchise.
especially because it's like one of the things we struggle with on the board is like Bob sometimes doesn't have background for stuff.
Nope.
Because like when we start talking about slashers, he's like, well, I've only really seen
a handful.
Halloween as like the big slasher franchise and nothing else, and it's hard to reference stuff. So we're going to be watching one of those. And what we're going to be watching is
We're going to watch Friday the 13th.
I'm so excited.
I'm scared.
I love it so much. We're going to be watching all 12 films.
All 12.
So you have that to look forward to now as extra content. I think this is going to be like our last bit of like heavy movie extra content for a while.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
We need a break.
Because we need a break from that. But you have that to look forward to starting next Saturday, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh,
The
as-
Saturday after this comes out.
We're going to try and get all of those out, though, before the convention, I assume.
We'll definitely be able to get all of them out before the convention.
Unless we eventually decide to stagger them out.
I'm thinking we're probably just going to do, and this is tentative, so don't
Okay.
take my word on this yet. Audience and Ben.
Yeah, I don't know.
We haven't really discussed this at all because we don't know when this is going to end up coming out. So we don't know when we're going to get to start to release these. But I just want to keep the Saturday, Monday schedule
Okay.
and just do 2 a week. So one on Saturday, one on Monday, and then,
That'd be 6 weeks.
yeah, which we have
Oh, do we
time
have that
for.
time? Okay.
Yes, I think so. And if not, there'll be one out on a Wednesday or something.
Yeah. Point being is we're going to watch all these before the convention. So we'll probably release them all before then anyways, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, look for that. Now, that's not going to be a part of convention prep. I think that's going to be its own thing.
Yeah.
So, going forward, we're not going to mention convention stuff on those episodes. Just so if you just want to watch Friday the 13th stuff, that'll be its own, like, playlist by itself.
Yep.
So you don't have to worry about having the context of the convention.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of you who've been watching the convention series from the beginning, thank you for sticking with us.
It's over, Ben.
It's over.
I can't believe it. I'm going to spoil it. We almost had 2 other movies on this list. And Ben went, no, we're not doing those.
No.
Ben just went, we're not doing
Well,
those.
because one of them, it was like, not that it was bad.
No.
It was
They're
just
both
like
good movies,
the
from what I
person
know.
had too small of a role in that film. And I was also like, this movie can go somewhere on the board. And then the other one was great. But then I was like, we're already using one big franchise on the board. We can't use another one
You can't do it.
here. That would be too bad.
Yeah.
I really like this convention stuff. I'm really excited that we're just going to be able to knock all the Friday the 13th stuff out now.
Mhm. Me too.
Especially because, like, that'll be the first series we knock out. We're still working on Halloween.
Oh,
we have
God.
Leprechaun ahead of us at some point. we got to knock those out. And so just being able to start one and knock it out immediately is great.
Yeah.
But I was like, I hate knocking out good movies not on the board, or at least
Yeah.
starting them not on the board.
Mhm.
And I was like, I can only get away with it one time every once in a while.
Michael Myers update, Halloween update on me. I fucking learned the epithet for like I think it's 7, and I'm gonna blow my brains out.
Where'd you learn it? Who do I have to kill?
Darcy.
Yeah.
There were boobs in that movie, and she retweeted pictures of boobs.
I'm gonna find her. I met her before. She's really nice.
Motherfucking curse of Michael Myers, get out of here. Cult curse.
Well, he is a curse
I'm over
on
it.
the people of Haddonfield.
He is a menace. In fact,
He doesn't have to be a cult movie. It's just because he's a curse.
I'm dreading. I'm dreading Halloween 6, 7, and 8.
We already watched 6. No, we watched.
No, we watched 5.
No, Cult is 6.
Cult is
right?
6, yeah. Those are the only ones we haven't seen except for the new ones.
No.
6, 7, 8? Because
No.
9 and 10 are...
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you just skipped a bunch.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you skipped.
There's a bunch?
I think you skipped 2. I think
Okay.
there's 2 after.
Irrelevant. We need to stop talking about Michael Myers
Yeah.
on the podcast. We talk about him a lot.
Because he's the only basis for a slasher guy you got.
Yeah.
Victor Crowley and like
Well, those are good movies.
good movies, but he's not like super iconic in the same way Michael is.
It's true. It's true.
Just because he's not necessarily super original. He's a compiled version of a bunch of other slashers together.
Yeah, but I still love him.
In fact, he's maybe a compiled version of a very specific one played by maybe
very-
the same actor.
I was about to say maybe the same guy.
who is Kane Hodder played that we're also going to be watching another franchise of?
I don't know. Leprechaun.
Yeah.
Kane Hodder was Leprechaun.
You know, Kane Hodder's Warwick Davis. Same size.
Same size. Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh, we need to go.
That's announcements out of the way. So I'm just going to get into our whole spiel. As always, check us out wherever you get your podcasts. You're probably listening to us somewhere right now.
Hopefully.
We're there. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, other interweb places. We're also on YouTube if you want to watch us there for whatever reason. If you are watching us there, it's a nice place to show us some love. We can see your subscriptions and your likes and stuff like that. That's always cool. You can also communicate with us on YouTube. You know, send us some comments in the comment section of videos. We do read those.
Yeah, we do.
We do appreciate them, even if we don't always
Agree with them.
agree with them. It is super cool to hear what you guys think
Oh,
because
absolutely.
I like getting different perspectives on stuff, and it makes me rethink, I think, my thoughts sometimes. Additionally, if you want to talk to us, or more specifically Bob, you can communicate with him on Twitter. It's a really good place to, give him some, like, maybe stuff for, like, random movies, or maybe some, random category suggestions. You can also tell him if you like how he's running the whole Twitter thing, because, like, I would like to know if he's doing a good job. I don't have Twitter, so tell him. Tell him he's doing a good or a bad job. And then he'll tell me, because I need to know. Because if he's doing a bad job, I'm going to take his tweeting fingers.
I was wondering where you were going to go with that one. That was good.
Maybe he'll get him back.
Maybe I'll get him back. Maybe
Maybe
well,
not.
Hopefully. Hopefully we'll get him back.
Maybe not all of them.
I need my fingers. Like Ben said, check us out on Twitter at BewareTheBoard. That's where I post updates about the show, information about the show. Basically, anything you need to know about the show goes on our Twitter. On Mondays, I post a spoiler post for that Friday's episode, which is basically a hidden movie cover that you can reveal to see what it is and then watch the movie before we do, so that whenever we're talking about the movie, being really vague about stuff, or spoiling the movie, you don't have to deal with spoilers. On whatever day an episode goes up, which is usually Friday,
Saturday,
Monday,
Wednesday,
a rare Wednesday episode.
any other day of the week.
Anytime.
Have we hit every day of the week yet? I
Yes,
think we
for
have.
sure. Absolutely. There's no fucking way we haven't. There's no way we have
It's a
not.
weird day, like Tuesday.
No, we've done Tuesday,
Okay, we've done Wednesday. We've definitely done Thursday.
We've done
and Friday.
Thursday.
And we've done
Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah, we've
Yeah,
hit everything.
we've done everything. Every day of the week.
What about Wumbo?
We've not
It
done a
didn't even
Wumbo
make
episode.
sense.
Like I was saying, for Ben rudely interrupting me with a Wumbo joke.
The study of Wumbology.
Whatever day an episode goes live, I post a link to the episode on our Twitter. So if you've ever missed an upload, wonder when something went up, there's always a link on our Twitter and maybe an associated meme, depending on the week. Or if Ben has think something is funny enough to make
yeah,
a meme
hopefully
about.
they get sent to you right.
Hopefully
I'm still
I get
mad
the-
about that other one.
You were so mad. It was
I
so
ha- I-
funny.
I have the fixed version, and I'm just gonna send it to you, so eventually you can post
Oh,
it on
actually,
YouTube.
do send it to me. I'll put it on YouTube.
Yeah, you can put the other ones up there too,
Yeah, I will do that. I need to do that. Thank you for reminding me.
because engage with our YouTube audience.
Yeah, it's good
Give 'em some
engagement.
love.
Last thing, check us out on TikTok and YouTube Shorts at Beware the Board. It's where we post short form content about the show. We pull old outtakes from old episodes. We pull new content from old episodes where I go back through and rescrub old footage for new stuff. So if you're into short form content and you like the show, check us out at Beware the Board on TikTok and on YouTube Shorts.
It happens very slowly, guys.
Look, the problem is we're doing this convention prep stuff. I do not have the fucking time.
No, we're recording like
We're recording 3 times a week.
3 or 4 episodes a week.
3 or 4 episodes a week, and then I'm pumping out, like editing 3 or 4 episodes a week on top of my day job.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. When I have the time, I do take the time to make TikToks and stuff and send them to Ben. And sometimes Ben just goes, "No."
I don't.
Or
think
he
I've done
goes,
that
"They're
yet.
fine." And
I
then I'm
think
just
I
like,
usually go,
"Damn."
they're fine. I don't think I've said no to anything.
You
yet.
have. You've knowed me once or twice. But it was because I cut one and maybe it's not appropriate.
That sounds about
It
right.
came from Tetsuo.
Mm,
There was
I-
one from Tetsuo that I cut, and you went, "You cannot put that on the internet." And I went, "Why not?" And you went, "No." And I was like, "Okay, fair enough." That movie's wild.
Oh, is it?
Movies are crazy. Yeah, it was that. Exactly what I'm talking about right now. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Visual jokes.
Visual jokes on the audio podcast. I think that's our last thing, Ben.
All right. Well, see you guys next time.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next time.